What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Prod.cast. I'm Andric.
I'm Basil.
And I'm SK.
And today we are going to be doing a Marvel movie review, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. This is going to be finally our first movie review. Woo! I also want to shout out to the YouTube subscriber that we had. This one dude who actually put a comment saying, can you guys do movie reviews? So yeah, we are doing this for you in your honor as well.
Yay.
So thank you so much. I can't really remember your handle right now, but you know it's you because you're the only one that has done it.
Why does it sound so
you
sad?
know it's you. It's okay. We are at the starting
we don't know
phase.
if we don't know if it's a dude or a girl.
This person.
Yeah, man.
Thank you so much. I mean, our channel mainly is focusing on like geeky stuff as well as like social affairs and stuff. So so having a movie review is a sooner or later thing, and what better way to start with Shang-Chi, one of the starting off movies in Marvel's Phase 4.
Yeah.
We might or might not go back and review older shows.
I don't think so.
It's
too
don't
many.
know
So many.
We don't review all ma.
Yeah lah.
But maybe certain specific ones to see how it holds up, like maybe after 5 years, 10 years, kind of thing. Like maybe even if, let's say Marvel, we can do specific flashback reviews or throwback reviews on, like, let's say Iron Man 1.
I feel like we should.
Those that change the industry or change the way we view movies.
Actually, it's more of, I feel like if you really want to do one, might as well just do Iron Man 3, which is like the one that is the closest related to Shang-Chi right now. That's just a thought.
I'm sure we'll touch on that a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we could easily review things like maybe Avengers Endgame. Hey, wow, you're taking a selfie halfway through. Okay, fine. You might or might not see a selfie online. We'll see how. For those of you listening on Spotify and on YouTube, just be warned, we are gonna delve deep into spoilers, but we'll let you know before we go into spoiler territory. Alright, so for now, what do you guys think of the movie?
You should go first because you just watched it.
Okay.
Give me some time to
So
find my feelings and thoughts.
For context, we didn't watch it together, but we all watched it in the theater, right?
Yeah, we did.
So Basil watched it first, I watched it second, and then SK watched it in the last 2 days only at the time of us recording this.
Yes, correct.
Right? So the memory is probably freshest in your head right now, SK. So why don't you share how you feel about the movie without giving any spoilers away?
Okay, 3 words. Tony freaking Leung. It's really, he stole the show. I find to be honest, I really find that. But the story wise is, I kind of think that the narrative flow is not as good, but I have to say, if you are really a huge fan of Tony Leung, just go and watch it. And secondly, the effects. I love the effects. The one thing I feel that they did really very well was the whole entire last battle scene. I'm not going to go into spoiler territory, but it was good. It was good. And I really think that this is a very good show. If you have not started off with any Marvel shows by now, which is impossible, I think you can really sit down and just watch it as a movie on its own without knowing anything about MCU or anything. It really helps.
It's a decent standalone Marvel film.
Yeah.
Yes, it didn't feel like a Marvel film to me, to be honest.
So what do you think about the movie, Basil?
I loved it. That's messed up.
It's online now, so.
Yeah, it is messed up. I loved it. I went in with zero expectations because I didn't really like the trailer. Like, I felt the trailer was so like...
Oh, I love the trailer.
Like meh. And I went in only wanting to see Tony Leung because Tony Leung is amazing.
Yep.
But then I came away feeling very surprised at the quality of the movie. I really enjoyed it. I still think that the weakest link in the movie is Simu Liu.
Yes.
I mean, Simu Liu's a total dude, bro. You know, like I think you could hang out with him over a beer and all that, but I just can't get the jung out of him.
And sing karaoke with him.
Yeah, maybe sing karaoke. Yeah, why not, right? Yeah, but I think he's the weakest link in the movie.
Yeah.
I think the dude knows it as well. But he doesn't really let it affect him. I can see that he's trying his best to play the role, but I just don't see him as this character. Yeah.
I think it's because I have to say this is that the number of actors and actresses,
the cast surrounding him are a lot stronger than he
is.
Yeah. But that's a good thing. Because if you identify, I think
agree.
honestly, I think Simu Liu was casted due to his popularity.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Yeah, he's quite popular, and he has tweeted Marvel a few times about the Shang-Chi thing, and
Yeah.
there's been a lot of public support for that, and I think that affected the decision to cast him in the role. And I think that also made them realize that in order to make a movie around I wouldn't say average lah, around a relatively fresh actor work, you need experienced actors and actors who are way better than him to lift the movie, to elevate the production to the next level. Yeah.
Personally, I thought the movie was better than I expected. Actually, no. Sorry, let me scratch that. I thought the movie was okay. It wasn't bad. I at least when the movie ended, I turned to my girlfriend and I said, I feel like I'm asking so little from movies nowadays. All I'm asking for is to not let me leave the theater angry.
Right.
There have been a couple of movies recently in the last couple of years that have made me leave the theater really, really very angry.
Name them.
And I'm not afraid to name them. One of them is Mulan.
Oh yeah.
The live action Mulan.
Okay.
The
Yeah,
new one.
Yeah.
The other one is Murder on the Orient Express.
Okay, I didn't see both in the cinemas.
I hated it. Okay, but I won't go into why today. Okay, but I left the theater after Shang-Chi not angry. I was quite excited for certain parts.
Yeah, I think I can echo the Mulan thing, because Mulan came out like last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was afraid that Shang-Chi was gonna go down that route.
Yeah.
But thankfully it did not.
Yeah. Have you actually watched Mulan already?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
What do you think of Mulan then?
It reeks of Orientalism.
Yeah. It shows me that American filmmakers don't know how to do Asian representation.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the cast, not the cast. Looking at the writing team behind Mulan, they're all white people.
Yeah,
They don't understand a single thing.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, and I felt that we didn't have that with Shang-Chi.
And the issue with Mulan, right? Even if you remove elements like the songs, the singing, Mushu and things like that, right? The story by itself is so bad. The dialogue is so bad.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's
All
really
the
bad.
cast are actually well casted. I'm actually okay with Louis Fei. I'm okay with the guy that played her father. I'm okay with
Donnie Yen is
Yeah.
okay.
who?
Was
Yeah,
it Donnie
I'm
Yen? Yeah,
okay with
was
Donnie
okay.
Yen as her superior.
Yeah.
I'm even okay with Jet Li as the emperor.
Oh,
I
yeah,
didn't even
Jet
know.
Li's the emperor,
I
yeah,
didn't even
correct.
know Jet Li was the emperor until I
Cannot
saw the
tell, right?
credits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
AV makeup, right?
Yeah.
They actually hit this until the actual day when they released the movie, and then they said, "Oh, that's Jet Li."
Yeah.
I'm actually quite happy with the casting, but I felt that it was the writing and the dialogue that fell
Well,
short.
the writing, like I mentioned, the writing for Mulan was done by white people. They don't understand what it's like to be Asian and to live in Asia.
But at the same time, to be fair, this is a
Shang-Chi's writers all have some sort of Asian descent.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, okay, but the only thing that I find that whenever I look at this show, I don't know, it just get me to think of one particular show. I think most of you might disagree. It felt like Crazy Rich Asia over again. In a way.
Shang-Chi?
How so? I mean, just because they have two casts from that show doesn't mean...
No,
But-
it has
but
a few.
please
It has a few.
explain.
Not just no. It's more than two casts. Aquafina was in it.
That's one.
Ronnie Chan was in it.
That's two.
Michelle Yeoh was in it.
That's three.
Yeah. Okay, that's three. But don't know. There was a portion of it felt like
Oh yeah, Ronnie Chang was in it. I forgot about him.
yeah. There was a portion of it. It's not the whole show. It was it was in the first half. It felt like it to me. The first half felt like Crazy Rich Asia a little bit.
Really? I didn't feel that way, because totally two different.
Yeah.
No, it was. I mean, as in the beginning portion. It was until when the whole second or the third act came in that it became so refreshed.
I don't see how it felt like it, because it's like two totally different contexts altogether, because the setting and all is different.
Is it
Like Crazy Rich Asians is like a bunch of rich people who are separated from the rest of society, but
No,
when
no, I'm
you
not
see
feeling-
when you see Simu Liu's character, well, Sean,
Yeah.
he's kind of like struggling to
No,
make a
I'm not
living.
talking about context. I'm talking about the feel, the atmosphere, even some of the dialogues that were said. It felt like it to me.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's why I said that it might be a little bit
I
controversial in
mean,
a way.
me and Basil might not agree,
Yeah.
but doesn't mean we are refuting how you feel lah.
Yeah, I know.
So your
definitely.
opinion is still valid. Don't worry about it.
True.
Okay, so let's go into the casting first. I'll just read down the role of cast that I have amassed while doing a bit of research. Okay, obviously Shang-Chi is played by Simu Liu. Shang-Chi's good friend Katie is played by Awkwafina.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi's father Wen Wu, or the Mandarin, is played by Tony Leung.
freaking Leung.
Shang-Chi's sister is Xia Ling, is played by this actress called Zhang Meng'er.
Xu Xialing.
Wen Wu's wife Leiko
Fala Chen.
is played by Fala Chen, or Chen Fala as how she's credited. Leiko's sister is Jiang Nan, played by Michelle Yeoh. White Assassin, the huge dude, Razorface, is played by Florian Montano. I'm sorry if I butchered that pronunciation.
Sounds French.
Mandarin's right-hand man, Death Dealer, the guy with the mask, is played by Andy Lear. He's actually a stunt guy lah.
Yeah, correct.
Right. So we are going a bit into spoiler territory now. All right. Trevor Slattery makes an appearance, played by Ben Kingsley.
I love it. I love that. I love his role there.
Wong showed up and he's
Yes.
played by obviously Benedict Wong.
Okay,
Yes.
I've got to confess here. I went to the toilet and I came back and I missed the scene where Ben Kingsley appeared for the first time.
Damn.
Yeah, so I've got to watch it again for that reason.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Never mind, I'll just watch it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So John is played by Ronnie Cheng.
Yep.
And some special mentions. Okay, this is full on spoiler already.
Yep.
Yuan Hua appears.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Yuan Hua, if you don't know who he is, you can go and
that
Google.
was a total surprise.
But he is the guy in Kung Fu Hustle, the guy that does Tai Chi.
Yeah.
Brie Larson appears as Captain Marvel at the end.
Yes.
The credit scene. Mark Ruffalo appears as Bruce Banner, not
Yes.
Hulk, Bruce
Yep.
Banner.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
which
we'll
is-
go into that later. And a very special mention that I want to talk about is Brett Allen, who is the fight choreographer for this movie. He passed away a couple weeks after the movie has wrapped.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
And I'm going to spend some time talking about him. Right. So, yes, that's more or less the main and a bit of a side cast of the movie. Who do you think was rightfully cast? Who do you think was badly cast? If there is any.
If I were to
I
honestly
already
say,
said Sumulio.
yeah, it's really similar. Yeah. Even Awkwafina at first looked like she was miscasted, but turns out that she was one of the. She stole quite a fair bit of a show, especially.
She
near
stole
the
a few
end.
scenes.
Yeah, she stole a few scenes,
It's
which was
pretty
pretty
lah.
good.
I don't like to use Aquafina. I prefer to call her Nora, but what the hell, right?
Nora from Queens.
Yeah, Nora Lam. Her real name is
Her
called
very
Nora
nice,
Lam.
I like the name Nora, so
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, but Awkwafina is how she wants to be.
Well,
It's a rap name lah. She wanted to show
she
that
does
she can
answer
rap.
to Nora.
It's her artist name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, she was great. I felt she was surprising to me.
Yeah.
Like, because I didn't like her role in Crazy Rich Asians.
Me neither.
Yeah.
After watching the movie, I went around to read some reviews by certain people. Maybe some one from the New York Times or whatever. Even one from Rice Media, where it's written by a local journalist called Marcus. A bit of a shout out to him because I know him, or I used to know him. So I read his review at least 3 times. And one of the things he said, which even though I disagree with, but I respect his view, where he said that he doesn't see the point of Awkwafina being there. Because in a sense, it's true, with or without her, the story doesn't change. The only contribution that she gave to the movie that really moved the story along was she shot the arrow through the dragon's neck. But it could have been easily done by anybody else, holding a bow and arrow.
Yeah, okay, I agree with that criticism because I think that such a pivotal scene shouldn't have been reserved for her character.
Actually, there was one particular scene that I really thought that it might move her character forward, but turns out that it was like meh. It was nothing. Remember the scene where when they actually went into the village already, and I think it was the first or the second night when Michelle Yeoh asked Shang-Chi to face his past or face who he is, and there was a lot of flashback about about how Fala Chen's character died and what motivated Tony Leung, that long scene. And then there was a portion where Shang-Chi was supposed to be sent to America, and it was revealed that it was supposed to kill someone who killed his mother.
Yeah.
And it cuts off, correct or not? And it went straight to Shang-Chi sitting there, and Awkwafina showed up. That particular portion, I was hoping that I was really assuming that, because initially that they were saying that Awkwafina's character, the grandfather died. Yeah, the grandfather passed away.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was really hoping that Shang-Chi revealed that, I'm the one who killed your grandfather because your grandfather killed my mother.
Oh, you're hoping that they were connected through that way lah.
Yeah, because that was where,
right.
because there wasn't any connections that Awkwafina had
Just
throughout
friends
the whole
lor?
time. Yeah, just friends, but there's nothing there. So it made me felt that if there is that certain link that happens, that at least it can make Aquafina's character even more, I would say, more feeling in a way.
I think what's confusing for me is that why is she even brought along
Yeah, exactly.
to the Avengers?
Yeah, correct. Just because she can shoot arrow now.
Well, yeah, okay. I see where you're coming from. Okay.
I like the role, but I feel like that it shouldn't have been. They shouldn't have brought her into the Avengers. A more better addition to the Avengers will be Xia Ling.
Oh yeah, Xia Ling.
But maybe they couldn't find her or whatever or you know what she becomes
No, but the problem is
she's the new.
Yeah, but
the
thing
new
is,
head of the Ten Rings.
yeah, but the thing is, Xia Ling in her case is she was the one who was fighting alongside Shang-Chi at the end of the final battle. It wasn't Katie.
And she had a costume of her own.
Yeah, correct. So it made me
I
feel,
see.
yeah, it's kind of unfair unless they are going to bring it here. No, they are probably going to set it up for the Avengers to have her going in later on. Maybe.
No, I think she's gonna become some sort of like an anti-hero, anti-villain sort of character going forward.
She's not gonna be a full-on villain.
Yeah, she's not gonna be a full-on hero either.
A hero as well. So I think that's where they want her story to progress.
She's just gonna be her father, lor.
Because
I don't think he's a full-on villain either.
Which is also a bit weird in a way, because I understand why at the end of the whole story she led the 10 rings with the ladies or with a more female-oriented assassins inside, but it just felt very forced that she showed up as the leader of the 10 rings when there wasn't any indications throughout the whole show that she's going to go that direction. In fact, she's kind of very resisting to the idea of...
No, there was.
She ran the whole Fight Club by herself.
No, she ran, but it's not...
Even when she was a kid, she's always wanted to take part in the training, but because they don't take female students...
Yeah, it's something that she's always wanted.
So she trains on her own. So now that her father is gone, she has the chance to take the seat or the throne, so to speak. Obviously, she's gonna make herself the leader of the 10 rings, and
now she's added female warriors.
Start recruiting female warriors.
Yeah, she did. That was at the end of the show.
Even a logo change where the middle is not swords anymore; it's a lotus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I could completely see her. I could see her taking up that role of leading the new 10 rings.
Yeah, she's basically Talia al Ghul.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, Wonu is basically Ras Al Ghul.
Yeah. Correct. 1,000 years old.
Right. Except that his Lazarus Pit is his actual 10 rings.
True.
Clearly, I don't have to ask who you guys thought was the best cast, right?
That one, no need to say one.
Because I think I agree with y'all, okay?
Yeah.
But I also heard what you guys think of the worst cast, and my answer is different from yours.
Okay.
You might be surprised. I think Michelle Yeoh is the worst cast.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah,
Why?
that's an interesting part.
She's a great actress, don't get me wrong. But I felt that her role was nothing more than a support character, and she is... Like, she did really, really well in Crazy Rich Asians. I actually believed her role.
Yeah.
But she doesn't have the face to be the very... I don't know the English word for that, but the very 慈祥 kind of...
the very gentle, very kind.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I found it weird that they just shoehorn her in as an auntie.
Yeah.
And,
I felt it was forced.
As someone who lives in that alternate dimension, right? She seems very comfortable with things from our dimension.
Yeah,
she even
correct.
speaks English.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you know who
I
I
found that
think
a bit weird.
No, she's just there just to
she's
dish
a bit
out
of exposition.
Yeah, she's just there to dish
yeah.
out exposition for us to know. Oh, there's this additional dimension that happened, that kind of thing. Yeah. She has no other use.
But why I felt that she was miscast. Okay, so I'm not saying that her role did not need to be in a movie. I'm okay with having that aunt, the auntie guidance counselor role thing. Correct. It didn't need to be Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah.
Okay? If it was my dream casting, after watching the movie, I think they could have casted Ming Na Wen.
Ming Na Wen.
Yeah.
She is more or less the same age, slightly younger, so maybe but they could have reserved Michelle Yeoh, a top class actor, for a bigger role in the future.
I kind of think that they purposely...
I don't know. I think they should... If you want to recast Michelle Yeoh, I think they should have gone with another HK actress.
Like?
No, because one of the reasons...
Tony Leung's wife lah.
Yeah.
But cannot be lah. Tony Leung's wife playing his sister-in-law. That's funny.
Well.
Yeah.
Karina Lau.
Yeah, but to be honest, Michelle Yeoh is the bigger name than Mina Yeong in terms of the China
Does
market.
Ming Na Wen speak Mandarin?
Mina Yeong, not Mina Yeong. Mina Wen.
No.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Not
also a
that I know
possibility.
of.
There's also a possibility
Not
they
that I
might
know
not
of.
want to cast her in. At least Michelle Yeoh can speak a
Yeah,
little bit
but
of
exactly
Chinese.
that's what I'm
Man-
saying though. Because Michelle Yeoh is such a big name, they could have reserved her for a bigger role. Maybe something of an anti-villain. Because at least my point of view, I can't see Michelle Yeoh as 100% protagonist. I see her as someone in the middle. Right? She could have easily been like, maybe, let's say now Xia Ling now is the new leader of the Ten Rings, right? Michelle Yeoh in the next movie could step in and, hey, I'm actually the brother of the sister of Wenwu or something or what, and I can be your new guidance.
Or maybe she can be the next antagonist.
Exactly.
Yeah, might
Right.
be.
But I can't see
lah,
her
your
Like
issue
Kate-
is
how
with-
Kate
your issue is
Blanchett-
with the prestige of her name lah.
Yeah,
Yes.
correct. It's
Right,
like
right,
almost
yes.
like Kate Blanchett suddenly shows up as Thor's.
Oh, okay. My
yeah.
issue with Michelle Yeoh is more of the fit lah. It's not about the prestige of her name or what, but she really clearly doesn't fit with that alternate dimension because Michelle Yeoh speaks Chinese like us.
Yeah, correct.
You know, they are all very in alternate dimension. They're all very Mandarin, 普通话 speaking one.
Yeah, correct,
Yeah.
correct,
Yeah.
correct.
Michelle Yeoh's Mandarin is like us, law Singaporean, Malaysian,
Yeah.
Chinese.
And-
So
and-
it breaks the immersion for me.
For
Yeah.
me, it's more of her role really shouldn't need to be there. She's just there to dish out exposition, and she didn't contribute a lot except giving exposition and giving the clothes or the costume to the siblings.
Well, yeah. That's why I said her role is too small for someone of her caliber to be in that role. Plus, not just the prestige of her name, but I also felt that her, like, just her face, I cannot tie it with I cannot tie her face to someone being a protagonist. Maybe she was younger, but now she has that look that she deserves to be either an antagonist or someone in the middle,
Yeah.
or a anti-hero.
Yeah,
Okay,
I can see that.
I got a name, Maggie Chung.
Who's that?
Oh, Maggie Cheung.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. She speaks English. She speaks Mandarin. She speaks Cantonese.
No, she can't speak. She can't speak Mandarin.
I need to see her face.
Her Cantonese is very strong, but when she talks or when she speaks in Mandarin, I think she had that heavy Cantonese accent that I think the whole entire show they're trying to get away from.
I don't know. Maybe.
Can-
Even
Yeah.
Yuan Hua had to speak very very fluent Mandarin, and the reason why Michelle Yeoh couldn't or had to speak English throughout the whole time was because her Mandarin wasn't her strongest, and she spoke it, and it was a very broken Mandarin.
Not
in that
broken
show.
lah. But again, speaking of Mandarin, right, that is something that we've been touching on for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I would have to say, out of all the Hollywood Asian casted movies, the Mandarin in this show is quite on point.
It's on point.
Yeah, it's on
Not
point.
just phonetically,
Even from the
but
start.
tonally as well.
Even from the start, the narration, you're like, wow.
it's
Yeah, it was
quite-
shocking. It
quite
was really
legit.
shocking.
Quite
Yeah,
legit.
yeah.
Because even in Mulan, right, they have casted Asian cast who cannot really speak Mandarin. And
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And when they learn the syllables, you can
Yeah.
hear that it's a bit like Ang Mo kind of Chinese.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel legit.
yeah.
My favorite Mandarin line in the show, right, was during the bus fight scene when Simu Liu says, 我不想惹麻烦. And I love that so much because it's also a callback to Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
Whenever Jackie Chan is in any of the police shows,
Yes.
that's what he says.
Yeah, correct.
It's very him, and not just
Yeah.
that. The entire fight in the bus scene is very Jackie Chan.
Yeah, it is.
Like the whole thing with the jacket,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But we'll get into the fight later.
You know what amazes me a lot? Like shocks me a lot. Simu Liu was in America at a pretty young age. He came to America at a pretty young age. I was stunned that his Mandarin is still so on point. Like I don't.
Oh yeah, I've never heard Simu Liu speak Mandarin
Yeah.
before until
And the
this
thing is,
movie.
because he spent so long in US, the first reaction I had is he might not be able to speak so
Yeah,
He's
I've
not
always
in
been
the US, by
curious.
the way. He's in Canada.
Canada.
Yeah, Canada. Yeah,
I've always been curious how his Mandarin
yeah. It was amazing.
standard is like. I mean, that's
So-
rich coming from me, but
So,
Yeah.
so you have never heard him speak Mandarin before?
Never.
Do you not see the Shang-Chi review?
no.
Like
No,
when
not
they
really,
first
like-
revealed that they were doing Shang-Chi
I
in
did not.
Comic-Con, Kevin Feige brought out Simu Liu and he did his opening entirely in Mandarin.
I did not.
No,
see
no,
that.
we didn't see
It's
that.
really
Yeah,
cool.
that's
He came
nice.
out, addressed everyone. He said, I think the lines was something like, 大家好，我是刘思慕，我要上演的是上期. He did the whole intro
Nice.
in Mandarin.
Very
Oh,
nice.
that was nice.
Yeah.
Very
Oh,
nice.
we are probably
I
gonna take
can
a
show
look
you
at
guys that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that alone, when I first saw that, I was already like, wow, rest assured, the Chinese will be on point.
Okay, I kind of deep down I kind of knew that was the case the moment they casted Tony Leung,
Yes.
because I think an actor like him wouldn't come on board a project that isn't authentic, because it's Tony Leung, man. He has his pick of any project that he want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's all he needs to do is just choose the right movie, and he can really act.
Okay, so that's a little bit about Simu Liu. So about Aquafina or Nora as Katie, the review that I saw written by Marcus, the Singaporean journalist, he made a little joke saying that Katie is only there just so that the characters got reason to speak English.
Yeah.
If Katie wasn't there, whenever they all
That's
gathered,
true. They all speak Mandarin.
Yeah, it would have been Mandarin.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's kind of like for her sake, okay, Lord, let's have half of it in English.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe. Okay. I would give. Yeah, I would agree with that because I think her role, right, is she represents all the Asian Chinese. American Chinese. That Asian Americans or American Chinese. I wouldn't even say Asian Americans.
Okay.
Because,
Okay.
Yeah, because Chinese is Chinese lah.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah. Like she represents Chinese Americans who want to see themselves as part of the movie.
Okay.
She feels the role because you see she doesn't even like really know how to speak Mandarin in the movie. I don't know if she does in real life, but she doesn't know how to speak Mandarin in the movie, and they are kind of like in throwing her character right into the deep end. Go to Macau, then go to China, then go to some alternate dimension in China. So it's kind of like fish out of water kind of thing for her.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
It's
So
not
it's
really an
interesting.
alternate dimension. Like it still exists within the world. Just that it's like a Black Panther situation, or like how Wakanda is protected by a force field of some kind of tech that they created. The town of Talo is also protected by some ancient magic through the bamboo forest. So it still exists. So I wouldn't be surprised actually if some of the villagers like Michelle Yeoh can speak English because they probably traveled out for some of their own stuff. Like it's not like they stayed there for the rest of their lives kind of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So that could be the explanation, even though they didn't explicitly explain that.
Okay, fair.
It's the same theory as how when Doctor Strange go to where's the place called? Where's the
Kamatouch.
Kamatouch, and then suddenly he was given a Wi-Fi password, and what's the antagonist name? The
Mordo.
Mordo was saying like, we are not savages, That's the same logic.
Okay, sure. The link a bit far, but okay. I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you guys think of Zhang Meng'e as Xia Ling, as Shang-Chi's sister?
Love it, man.
I love it.
You like it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I also
Anything else to add other than love it, man?
No, she was a pleasant surprise because I didn't even know she was going to be in the movie. Yeah, I didn't even know that character was going to be in the movie. Like I said, I went in with zero knowledge of the movie.
Yeah.
I didn't even I saw the trailer, but I didn't, that's all.
The trailer didn't even have her, a lot of her.
Wanted to find out a lot. Like I didn't know that was a character. Yeah.
I see.
Because I thought it was going to be like, Shang-Chi only, that's it. But I didn't know that there was a sister character.
Yeah.
But how was her acting?
I think she's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about her.
Yeah, she's good.
I think the fact that she is now the new leader of the Ten Rings makes her a more interesting character.
Yeah.
If they hadn't revealed that she's gonna be the new leader, I would not have been invested in the character at all.
Well, I think they were always leading to that lah.
Now she's on my radar lah.
Yeah.
So if let's say if the movie hadn't gone the way it did, like what you said, like I thought it was weird, right? Like it's forced, right? If they haven't gone the way it did, I would have forgotten about her character already by now. Because then all she did is just like the estranged sister did not get her share of the pie, and then but in the end she overcame it and helped her brother, and that's it. But now we know that she's returning with a different force. So we will definitely keep a lookout for her. Because she's eventually going to be a much bigger character than Katie. Katie had her moment to shine here, but I don't see where her character can progress from now on.
Katie's a sidekick at the most lah.
Yeah, she's just a sidekick.
Do you think she could be a love interest?
She definitely is.
They already hinted near the end a few times already that it's gonna happen.
Really? It's gonna happen? We don't know for sure lah.
Yeah. I think they are, yeah.
They are gonna go that direction. Yeah,
okay. Let's go to one cast that I'm sure you both like. What do you think of Chen Fala Chen?
Okay, I'll say this because I haven't said this on record. Every scene in the movie that Tony Leung was in, he stole the show. But every scene in the movie that Fala Chen was in with Tony Leung, she stole the scene.
Oh yeah, correct.
I see.
It was almost like the live imitating art, because the character, the only person that the character couldn't beat was Fala Chen's character.
Yeah.
And the movie itself, it also when they're doing the acting scene itself, it is also the same case.
I think they did very well to address why Wenwu was so enamored with her. They really made her look super beautiful in the show.
Yeah, she is.
It's like every time she appears, everything seems to slow down.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
correct.
then the leaves all fluster and everything.
She
and everything's
brings
so beautiful and
zen
colourful.
and balance to Wenwu's chaotic life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's what attracted him to her. You know, that whole scene where they fought for the first time,
Yeah.
I actually read somewhere, and it's a thing now. Somebody coined that as flirt fighting. It's quite funny.
Oh my god.
And then when the scene came again, when Shang-Chi was fighting him, and then with the freaking close-up angle of Shang-Chi looking at his father, it's kind of okay, kind of weird.
But that scene was also reminiscent of a lot of older wuxia shows where
Yeah, correct.
you have the Sime and the
Shixiong.
the Shixiong
Yeah.
like flirt fighting with each other.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was cool.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it was cool but cheesy to us Asians because we've seen tons of shows like that. But maybe to American viewers, it's like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
No, but
It could be their first time seeing something like
But
that.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
angling of Fala Chen throughout the whole show,
Yeah,
it
it
really-
captured all her best angles.
yeah, it really.
Because every time they did every time they film her, it's always like wow, a lot of depth of field, a lot
Yeah.
of bokeh.
Yeah.
Then a lot of color.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I watched TVB my whole entire life, and
they
I
use very warm tones for her.
yeah,
And
correct.
then every time you see Wenwu alone, it's always very cold.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I watched TVB for so many years, and Fala Chen was one of the female lead that I always constantly watch. I never knew she was this beautiful until
Yeah.
when I watched Shang-Chi. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Their cameras really made every angle of her face look good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially the ending, and her, the period of time when she had the death scene, that was.
But she looks really young though.
She's not.
She's
I know the actress is not, but in
She's
the
at
show
least-
she looks really
she
young.
has at least 45, 50. Yeah.
No lah, I think she's close to 40. I think. I can't remember.
Let's check that later lah.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that based on visual appearance, even though knowing that Tony Leung is like probably 1,000+ years old, but they don't look like they are the same age range. If Tony Leung was a normal age, if Wenwu was
Right.
normal age,
Right.
It's like 骗小妹妹。
I think
Maybe a bit.
I think it was always meant to be that way.
or is it?
Yeah. Because I mean, we all know how old Tony Leung is, and they probably know how old Fala Chen is, right? The age difference is, I think, is definitely intended.
Maybe.
Okay, so then what do you guys think of Michelle Yeoh, or have we already covered that?
We covered that.
Okay, then let's go to a bit of the smaller characters because I want to save Tony Leung for last. What do you guys think of? So I will lump these two together. What do you think of Razorface and Death Dealer?
Razorface is just there because they need some they need Caucasian representations.
I don't know about
I
that.
mean, he's the
I-
only guy who is the only Caucasian there.
I
you don't-
disagree
There
though.
was Ben Kingsley.
But you can see he's not Caucasian.
He's Caucasian.
He is? Okay. I always thought that
Dude,
he's other.
he's English.
Okay.
He's Sir Ben Kingsley. He's knighted by the Queen.
I kept thinking
If
that
you're
he's...
not Caucasian after that,
No. I
No,
kept
no,
thinking
you
of
can
him
be-
as some other race.
Yeah.
just because he played Gandhi, come on.
Okay. There's nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with that.
Okay. So I think the Razorface character is just a character for Shang-Chi to beat up.
Yeah. I think at first he just appeared to be like, that marauding henchman.
Yeah, correct.
After that, then they added some comedic elements to him. So okay lah, quite funny.
My core.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
No, it's more of the other one.
Where they fight. Oh, okay, yeah. I think we need to team up.
That I love
was
that
quite
part.
funny.
Yeah, that was quite
That was
funny.
quite funny.
Okay, then what do you think of Death Dealer, the dude with the mask?
Honestly, I thought Death Dealer was Taskmaster.
I genuinely think that they could have developed him so much more, especially the fact that they established him as the sort of the master for Shang-Chi.
In the trailer, right, Death Dealer was heavily showcased. He was heavily featured, but I thought that his death scene was kind of lame.
Well, it was actually underwhelming.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think that he would die. I didn't think that he would survive either, but I just didn't know his death, like he would
It's
go out
underwhelming lah.
like that. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was one particular scene which in the beginning when the Death Dealer trained Shang-Chi, and there was a scene whereby he tried to stab Shang-Chi and Shang-Chi dodged away, and there was a cut on his face that leading to him getting sort of leading to Tony Leung looking at him and go, "Hi."
That's the scene where they fought as adults, right?
But I felt that it could have been played off better as compared to that one portion when they fought in the warehouse where he had that scene again. I wanted it to be even stronger because I was thinking that there might be a better payoff than
Yeah,
that.
I thought that was quite strong. But okay.
I mean, as in, if you want him to die, that's what I felt that you can have that. You get what I mean? like have the same scene and he finally dodged it and maybe he did something that caused him to die, rather than having to be sucked by
Suck his
some.
soul lor.
Yeah, suck his soul off. That felt that, you know, wow.
Okay, I get where you're going.
Yeah.
from.
No, you wanted a more significant death for him.
Yes, because he's at the end of the day he's technically the master or the sư phụ of Shang-Chi.
He's
in
just
a
the
way.
person who trained Shang-Chi lah.
Yeah, but there
Under
must.
the watchful eyes of his own father. I mean, I actually wouldn't even lump Death Dealer as Shang-Chi's trailer, like how Ip Man is Bruce Lee's master. I would just say that Death Dealer is just Wen Wu's assassin. That's all. Whereas Razorface is Wen Wu's brawler.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So he will send them for different missions that require their specialty. So maybe on a one-on-one fight, Death Dealer definitely can handle. If he's the guy that you send to assassinate people in the shadows, but he's not the guy you send to wars.
Yeah, correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
probably
yeah.
why he didn't survive.
Yeah.
Then what do you think of the surprise appearance of Wong, John, and the Abomination?
I think I was spoiled about the Abomination like before I saw it, but
The trailer
Even
actually
the
showed
trailer
it. Yeah,
already
the
showed
trailer
it.
already showed already.
like okay lor.
I just kind of find it a bit weird that his scene was this short and
Right.
he was actually fighting Wong.
Yeah, I found it a bit funny that he was tame. Yeah, it's like like
Yeah, it will probably be explained in the later part, but the theory is right. Okay, so like the trailer played off Wong fighting the Abomination, right? So that got everyone asking why are they fighting each other? Why is Wong there? Why is he there?
yeah.
But then in the movie they actually revealed that the fight was a PR stunt. Like they are actually buddies behind the scene. It's it's like wrestling.
Yeah, it's
where,
wrestling.
Yeah,
where
correct.
on
correct.
stage is fake, but behind the scenes they are
Yeah.
buddies. But the interesting thing about Abomination is when the fight was done and Wong was taking him somewhere, he opened a portal. Do you see where the portal led to?
Yeah, I missed that
didn't
out.
really see.
So I had a second look and I also did a bit of research. Apparently it led to like a glass-looking cage, similar to the one Hulk had prepared.
They prepared for Hulk for during Avengers.
Right,
Is it?
right,
Yeah.
Right. The theory, the suspicion is Abomination is under the control of Thunderbolt Ross.
Right.
And that's
Yeah,
where
yeah.
he's gonna build the Thunderbolts
Right.
Mm.
or the Dark Avengers.
Possible.
Right, because if Hulk is on Avengers, it would be interesting to see the mirror of Dark Avengers having the Abomination as in
correct.
the Hulk role.
That's
Mm.
true.
And
That's true.
Wong could be working with them.
Possible.
Because even if they are Dark Avengers or Thunderbolts, they are under the guise of the government. So at this point, if Wong is willingly working with them, he probably doesn't know what are the secret plans that Ross has. But that's a theory lah. Also, we don't know for sure.
Yeah, well, I don't know lah. I would just say that the Abomination is not exactly a bad guy. Also,
Yeah.
Yeah, he
he's
wasn't.
just a guy who wants to protect the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just over competitive dude. The last time we saw him was what?
Incredible Hulk.
13 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
correct.
13 years can do a lot to someone.
But
Yeah,
at least the good thing about the current design now is he looks comic book accurate. He has his fins.
Yeah.
Correct.
So what do you think of John played by Ronnie Cheng? Is it funny?
Oh, like that. Oh.
Yeah. It's just him.
Yeah.
It's just him.
It's just Ronnie Cheng being Ronnie Cheng. Oh.
That's
Yeah,
the-
correct.
There are two casts in this show that they are just being themselves.
Yeah.
Aquafina and Ronnie Cheng.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Yuanhua appearing? Yuanhua.
I was so surprised.
Yeah.
Me too.
Me too.
I was like,
Freak, that's the guy who answer.
holy shit! No, I didn't recognize him from Kung Fu Hustle because I mean I recognize him from all the Hong Kong movies that I used to watch. Like,
Yeah.
holy shit!
Yeah, he's quite big
It's
name.
Yuan
eh.
Hua.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't know if the American producers know that, but in the Hong Kong context, he big name.
Actually,
I'm
he
sure
is.
they
Actually,
do.
they
I'm
know.
sure they do.
They know because he was meant to be Bruce Lee's stunt double when he was.
Are you serious?
He was supposed one of the I think was what I can't remember, was it Way of the Dragon or which one. Because Bruce Lee cannot do backflips, so they took him as a stunt double to do backflips.
Are you
and
serious?
Yeah, and he was this close to be in Hollywood if it wasn't because of Bruce Lee's death. So it took him years to
Damn.
become this huge name.
I had no idea Yuanhua is a stunt double for Bruce Lee. That's cool.
Yuan Hua's stunt and martial arts ability has always been a lot better than, let's say, for example, like Jackie Chung or Yuan Biao or
Yeah.
Yeah, Yuan Hua has always been better at martial arts than them, but they've always been the more
Good looking ones.
good-looking faces.
I see.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
why every time you see Yuan Hua, he's always playing a villain or something like that.
Yeah.
Or a comedic character.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not the main guy.
So
I see.
yeah, and it was amazing that I'm quite surprised to see him there. and I am glad that they didn't force him to speak English.
Yeah, but he spoke Mandarin and it sounded a bit weird.
No,
I mean,
it
it had the Hong Kong accent.
yeah, he has. So, which is also
the Canto accent.
Yeah, the Canto accent.
To be a bit more politically correct.
Yeah, but he at times I can't tell those accents. He did try his best to try to speak on point. Yeah, so that was positive. I just kind of felt that all of a sudden, his relationship with Aquafina can build a lot more. It was a bit rushed.
Yeah, speaking of that, I kind of felt that it wasn't believable that Aquafina, under such a short amount of time, could master the bow and arrow.
Yeah.
It's something that people take years
Yeah.
of practice to master, and for some reason, she's like able to shoot it through a dragon's neck. But okay lah,
a couple of
that's
days.
Yeah, and then
that
suddenly
is just Marvel theory.
Look,
Yeah.
Oliver Queen took 5
yeah,
years.
and Yuanhua from the and Yuanhua throughout the whole time was trying to get her away from doing all this shooting because
Yeah, he didn't
she
want
was-
her to take part.
Yeah, take part. And then suddenly, okay, Ken, you just make sure you don't die. What? All of a sudden.
Yeah, it was missing the mentorship
Yes,
part
correct.
lah. But I think it's fine because the movie is already so short, and they don't have extra time to put in all these things.
I was quite surprised at how short and concise the movie was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't stretch to like 2.5 hours or something like
It
that.
was 2 hours flat, right?
Yeah, it was still
Yeah. But the good point is that because it's so short, everything seems to be.
So the next person on the cast list that I want to talk about, not cast, this one is crew, is Brad Allen, which is the fight choreographer and an actual disciple of Jackie Chan himself. But I think we've covered it a bit on the bus scene already.
Yeah.
So just a final shout out to Mr. Brad Allen, where I think the most of the fights were heavily inspired with what he knows, like what he learned from Jackie Chan, like the whole fight scene in the bus, some of the lines and dialogue that Simu has, and especially the fight scene at the building in Macau, the scaffolding scene.
Yeah.
That one was very rush hour.
Yeah,
That's
it was
exactly rush hour. dude.
Exactly.
This is.
Even the scene where Katie was hanging off one of the bamboos.
Yeah,
is
that's Chris
exactly
Tucker.
what Chris Tucker did.
Yeah.
Exactly the same. Yeah. So that's the final shout out that we have for Brad Allen.
Rest in peace, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
His final work was great, lah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to the.
But they did. I think I didn't really see them putting in memories of.
He did
They did.
When? Where?
at the end.
Right at the end, yeah.
I didn't see it.
I
In memory
really-
of Brad Allen.
I really
Oh.
like the fight scene in the building because of the
Darkness.
way they framed the light of Macau in the background, and then
Ah.
they were just fighting in the building, in the dark building.
Yeah.
So that was really cool.
Okay, the building one. You mean the fight between Simu and Death Dealer? Is it?
Yeah.
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
that
that
was
was
really
that was
good.
really.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love it.
yeah.
I
That
love
was
it.
really
Yeah.
good. But I wasn't a fan of the fight on the scaffolding, and because you can't obviously have your actors fight on scaffolding because it's freaking dangerous, even with wire. So you know that the whole fight was done in a studio. Actually, most of the movie was done in a studio because this is the first Marvel movie in its entirety is shot post-COVID.
Yes.
So
Well, it's not exactly post lah. It's during
like
COVID.
yeah,
Yeah.
like post-COVID
Lockdowns and all.
happening around the world lah.
Yeah, correct.
All through COVID. It's the first movie shot that way. So you know that 80-90% of the films were shot in a green screen studio, right? Especially the scaffolding scene. But the way the camera moved, I think they got a bit too ambitious. It took me out of the scene. Like as a viewer, okay, as someone in the industry or even someone that does a bit of research, you know that it's all green screen. But as a viewer, you want to be enamored by the possible stakes that one of them could actually die there. But the way the camera moved, as I said, I felt that they got too ambitious. Like they were going through the poles and whatever, then up and down like some kind of roller coaster. It took me out of the possible realistic stakes that it could have had.
Right.
I just kind of
That's my
felt.
feedback.
I'll be
you kind
honest,
of felt like it's very
I'll be
fake.
honest, I thought the sister was going to die in the scene because I told you, like I said, I didn't come in the movie with much like pre-knowledge, so I thought they would use that as his motivation.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I see.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the final cast on the cast list before we can go to other topics. Tony Leung.
You didn't mention about Ben Kingsley.
Alright, okay, fine. Okay lah.
Wait, by the way, Ben Kingsley is English and Indian.
That's
Yeah.
why.
So still somewhat Asian.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. Thank you for that
Yeah.
fact checking.
Oh,
Yeah.
So Ben Kingsley, please go ahead. I know
he's
you
a
have a
goal.
lot to say.
I hated his role in Iron Man 3, and he redeemed himself so much
I
here.
I loved it.
I don't hate
I
his role in
love
Iron Man
it.
3.
I loved it.
I
Huh?
loved it. I hated Aldrich Killian.
I loved it. Actually, Iron Man 3
It's not as bad as you think.
it's not as bad as you think. You need to rewatch it again.
I would argue that Iron Man 2 is the worst one.
No lah. I mean, I would still say Iron Man 3 is the worst, but
Yeah.
it's not as bad as we remember it.
Okay.
Okay.
As it's not as bad as we felt when we first watched it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Because like I understand the whole idea behind the Mandarin, the
Mm.
concept of having that figure of fear that's manipulating things behind the
Yeah,
scenes.
yeah.
Yeah, I can totally understand how like you know the hacker group Anonymous.
yeah,
It's
correct.
the same idea.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. So I understand why they went in that direction,
Mm.
and I loved how they addressed it in this movie.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love how they addressed it. It was
Did you
really
watch
good.
the shot All Hail the King?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I did.
I
I did.
love that.
Yeah,
I
and then
just
they
showed
did it,
Ina
and they
the
were
other
like,
day.
"Holy crap, that's a real Mandarin!"
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So-
it, yeah.
So it felt like the production team already knew what they were doing going into Iron Man 3. They knew that they were going to set Ben Kingsley up as the Mandarin and later revealed to be Travis Slattery, out of work actor,
Yeah,
Yeah, correct.
English actor,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But it wasn't as well received as they thought it would be, so
Yeah.
they retconned it a bit
Yeah,
with
yeah,
All
yeah,
Hail the
yeah.
King shot.
Yeah.
And I feel that for people to truly enjoy seeing the appearance of Ben Kingsley, they need to watch All Hail the King shot first.
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah,
Because after watching that shot, right, I got so excited for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Because knowing that that's where the Mandarin would finally appear, and and even when the shot was first released, they haven't even casted Tony Leung yet, but
Yeah.
you could already feel the intensity of the real Mandarin villain,
yeah,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Just by one dude
Yeah.
taking out an entire room and breaking him out of prison.
yeah,
Yeah.
You could feel so that shot was very well done.
yeah.
So having Ben Kingsley there was great, but it seemed like he was even more out of sorts, lah. you
Yeah,
know?
I mean, he was being held prisoner since then. no?
Yeah.
That-
It was
that's been
almost
how
close
many
to
years
10
ago?
Even almost close to 10 years, because you have to understand that they have the blip also. So it's
All
plus
Hail
5.
the King is from from which year?
I don't know.
No, it was actually 2013, 2014.
I don't know.
No,
Yeah.
that's Iron Man 3.
Oh, is it? But I do know.
It's
but
shortly
if-
after Iron Man 3 got
Yeah.
released.
Yeah, but the thing is, you have to also understand there's a blip also, that plus 5.
Wait, are you
Oh, that's
asking
right.
about in real life years or in Marvel?
Marvel,
years?
yes. Marvel, he was being
Because in
captive
Marvel
for.
years,
You have to plus 5 to
Shang-Chi is
everything.
not happening in 2021, you know.
Yeah.
It was
It's
happening.
2023.
Yeah.
Which is plus 5
Yeah.
after the blip.
Yeah lah.
So that was, and he might be even be captive for almost close to 10 years.
Yeah,
with
yeah,
only one fluffy Morrison.
Morris.
Yeah.
Morris. Yeah, Morris on his side.
Chicken flying turkey thing.
I can't see his
Pig
face.
chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So
so unique.
and I love it when he really like everybody could see Morris, and the first reaction that he did was
Oh,
you
you
could
can
see
see
him. I thought he was a figure of my he was a figure
Yeah.
of my imagination. Like oh,
Yeah, well, I like how they brought everything full circle.
for him. Yeah.
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 Actually, if you think about it, this movie kind of doesn't really have loose ends.
I can't think of
much.
any at the top of my head.
Yeah. None.
Me too.
Yeah.
Nothing, no glaring loose ends. Maybe some few ones that you know that they will explore later,
Mm.
but none of it glaring enough.
Yeah,
to-
I mean the thing about Marvel movies and superhero movies, universes in general, right, is that I always think that okay, if there are glaring plot holes or
Yeah.
whatever, there's always an opportunity to explain it.
Yeah,
in
they'll fill
future.
it up at the later part.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So because it's about universe building, so
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm really not too bothered unless they do things really like out of sorts lah.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go to the final cast then. Tony Leung,
Oh.
go. Unleash the Kraken. Come on,
Uh,
SK.
I can only say one thing.
Tony
If you want to
Leung.
see someone who can act with his
Well,
eyes,
Tony
look for
Leung
him.
really unleashed the Kraken.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
That was literally his job in the movie.
Yeah, he
His
is.
objective: unleash the Kraken.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was sort of a Kraken.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. That was really. But I mean, to be honest, if you want somebody who can act with his eyes,
Yeah, you are
this
the third person
I
that
think-
I've heard that. Yeah,
I think perfect casting.
he is perfect.
perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I really cannot think of anybody who can do this role.
Mm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When Kevin Feige first came out and said that they have casted the Mandarin as Tony Leung, I'm like, yes, I'm so
I know,
ready.
right? Yeah.
So ready.
The thing about it is, I would say that they really make like my image of Mandarin is still the Iron Man villain. all of a sudden he make him sort of like this sympathetic character, and I sat down, I go, oh my god, I suddenly fell in love with Mandarin for some reason.
And then you think about it, Wenwu isn't exactly the Mandarin.
He's not.
Yeah, he's not.
He was just assumed to be.
Yeah,
like,
correct.
That's what people call him.
Yeah,
That's
because of Ben Kingsley,
Trevor.
what? That's what he said.
Yeah,
Right?
no, as in that's what people assume he is lah.
He has never taken on that name himself.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah,
It's a name given to him through Aldrich
correct.
Yeah, correct.
Aldrich Killian.
Yeah, correct.
But the only thing that he really owns is the Ten Rings organization.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. But there is a small Easter egg there that I want to touch on later. But there's one thing I want to say about the whole Travis Saturday thing. You said you didn't like it, right? Basil said he loved it, right? I loved it so much I bought the hot toys of Ben Kingsley as the Mandarin sitting on a chair like that.
Oh,
It's in my house. You've been to my house before.
Oh yeah.
I loved it so much. It was so well done. like I totally believed he was the Mandarin
Right.
until at the end I'm like, fuck lah.
But they did like in a way they modernized the character a little bit. Like you don't at the end. In fact, you see.
Yeah, you are right to say that they modernize it, but they modernize the idea of the character.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, they cannot use the comic book reference because in the
Because
comic
it's
books,
racist.
Yes, correct.
Shang-Chi's father is not Wenwu on the Mandarin.
Yeah.
It's this guy called Fu Manchu.
Yes, correct.
And
Which
Fu Manchu
is racist.
is actually not a Marvel character, you know.
Well, the word Fu Manchu itself is effing racist.
Yeah, correct,
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah, it's like so. I'll be honest. Like you could create a new character,
Yeah.
and call it any other name, and it doesn't have to be Shang-Chi. It'll still be the same movie.
Correct.
Yeah.
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 And I
Yeah.
and really this is the first time I realized that because there's also the image that Iron Man and Mandarin must be face to each other.
No, that's in the comics only. Yeah.
I mean in the comics, but suddenly they realized that you don't really need. They don't really need to coexist together because that has always been the narrative throughout the whole time.
God,
They has to be.
what if they do a Marvel What If where Iron Man face off with Wenwu?
Yeah.
Have you been watching the What Ifs?
No, yeah, waiting for you to finish.
Yeah.
I have watched a few.
Not
a few. Yeah.
Okay. But I didn't feel that it was a series good enough for us. Okay, not good enough, but vital enough for us to react together.
It's not.
It's not.
So, the one thing Donna mentioned, the small little Easter egg that Wenwu mentioned at one point in the show, he said like the whole scene where he's talking about names and how that he found it amusing that the Americans named their character after a chicken dish.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
correct.
He said this line, "I've been given many names, the Great Khan." It's actually hinting that he might be Genghis Khan.
Oh.
Because
Yeah,
if you think about it, the blades
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
actually
That's right.
correct.
That's right.
Correct,
That's
Right. So he's actually hinting he might be Genghis Khan. And that's a even bigger Easter egg for me than he's the Mandarin.
Well, like I said earlier, he's Razagu.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, he's Razagu.
Yeah. Actually, that's exactly right.
Yeah, he's Razagu.
So
Yeah.
I've heard another theory about the 10 rings, which I think I've told you guys in our group chat before, right? But I'm just gonna put it out there. In the comics, the Mandarin's 10 rings were actually rings. But do you know why in this movie it's bracelets? So the theory is because the 10 rings were actually alien tech by, I forgot what's the alien race called, but the race all looks like, the race of alien all look like dragons, or at least what we know to be dragons. And it's only so big because when the dragons wear it on their fingers, it's rings. So when it gets translated to human forearm, it becomes bracelets.
Fin Fan Foam, is it?
Fin
Yeah.
Fan Foam.
Yeah.
But many people are wondering if the dragon that showed up, the Great Protector, is he Fin Fang Foom or is he just a mythical dragon? We don't know for sure.
Yeah, no one knows. I mean,
But with the mid-credit scene that showed Brie Larson and Bruce Banner and how Wong, zoomed in and whatever, and he saw that
We know
it
it's
was
alien for sure.
yeah, it's
pulsating,
Yeah.
and then they hinted that it's calling out to someone. I feel that it's calling out to Fin Fan Foom, or at least the race that's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That, I mean, it's definitely alien lah.
Yeah.
That is for sure. They're setting up Phase 4 ma. Yeah,
I mean,
setting
Captain
up the rest
Marvel
of
at
Phase
one
4.
point even said that it's not alien, at least not anything that she's familiar with.
Yeah.
But she's not that old. So it's ancient alien.
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's quite interesting to know lah. Okay, so we have spent an hour talking about the cast. Dude, an hour, I think this will be a 2-hour episode. Fuck. Anyway, let's go into other parts of the show. What do you think of the general story? I felt the story was predictable.
Yeah,
it is.
It's not the kind of show you go for the story.
Yeah.
You just go to be entertained.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in that regard, I think I was entertained.
Yeah.
Same here.
Same.
Yeah.
Same here. Where do you think the story could progress to in the future?
I really don't know. Like obviously they're setting up for the eventual conflict between Shang-Chi and Xia
Okay.
I don't think so.
No, Shang-Chi will be like, oh, why do you take over Dad's organization? Like, what are you doing with it? And you know, obviously she's gonna be cagey about it, about her real intentions, and then there's gonna be like some manufactured conflict there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then obviously, of course, I think there will be another villain that's gonna unite them as siblings again. Yeah.
I do think that, I don't know, I just feel that they have to eventually go straight to outer space, then, you know, whatever they have. That's how I feel. Because the likelihood that this Shang-Chi happen is definitely going to be post-Avengers 4 or something. Or, yeah, it will likely be post-Avengers, the Phase 4 Avengers series movies.
Okay,
they're not
post-Phase 4.
Post-Phase 4. So they definitely have to go somewhere, and usually that's the case, really, I felt.
Well,
Or
them
even
going to
alternate
space
dimensions.
is, big things, yeah.
It's a big leap for the character, leh.
Yeah.
I think that will only happen in the Avengers
I
movie.
think Shang-Chi is like a very grounded to earth kind of
Yeah,
character.
I think the next step for Shang-Chi will be to see him interact with other Avengers.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But I don't think he'll be in a leading role.
No.
Like,
He can't.
He won't be the Captain America role.
No.
That might still fall down to Sam Wilson.
Yeah.
Okay. So there were elements of the story that I felt that were a bit like it felt like they were trying to push towards something, but it didn't pan out. So what didn't work for me was, you know, at the start there was the whole Jade Pendant arc, where Wen-Wu sent his assassins to try to steal the Jade Pendant from Shang-Chi and Xia Ling, right? But it didn't last very long, right? In the end, the Jade Pendant was just used to put on a water slideshow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, correct.
I thought the Jade Pendant would be the key to Talo.
That would have made that arc a bit more worth it. You know, like we followed them on the whole journey. Then okay, you know, it's like a key.
Yeah.
Like you can't enter without the Jade Pendant.
No, it's just a MacGuffin to get the siblings together.
Which was weak.
Yeah, it's very weak.
Right. So okay, just ignore everything at the end. Okay, really think about the whole. Like, just follow the Jade Pendant as the character of the story. Yeah. When Wu sent his guys to collect back the Jade Pendant, he challenged them he bet them that they will not be able to kill the siblings. They failed to kill them, but they got the pendant anyway. Right? So they succeeded in their job. So when Wu now has the pendants in his hand, what does he use it for? He places it on a dragon so that he can activate a water slideshow that gives exposition. Right? When I explained that to Lina, she said, oh, but actually the slideshow shows Wen-Wu how to enter Talo. But thing is, don't forget, Wen-Wu was narrating as the slideshow was happening, so he already knows.
Yes,
he just needs to convince the two of them to follow him. Right? But in the end, they didn't follow him. He still went in on his own to attack the village. So he didn't actually, he didn't need the pendants. He didn't need his children. He didn't need the pendants at all. It was just a item for them to bring them together, like what you said. So I would have wished the pendant played a larger role. Like what you said, it could have been a key.
No, I still
enter.
think that yes, he used it to show the map.
Yeah.
And then
slideshow.
Yeah, and then after that, they could have still used it as the key to enter.
Yeah. Like, simply because the Jade Pendant maybe could have been like a mystical item from Talo village itself. So it would recognize the mystical powers and allow people to enter without going through the maze.
Correct.
Correct.
And speaking of the maze, oh my god, I actually can't really stand the maze. I can't stand the whole scene. Because the entire scene of them traveling through the maze, reaching Talo, driving to the village, looked like a BMW ad. It's so heavily sponsored. It looks like a BMW advertisement that is like 4 minutes long.
Yeah.
It is.
You know?
They even use BMW as their car.
BMW out of this world.
Right. So I mean, we know that realistically, even a rich company like Disney, like Marvel, they also need sponsors.
Yeah.
I mean, it's free money, right?
Yeah, correct.
Why not?
Mm.
But this is one of the few times that I felt that the sponsored stuff was right in your face. Literally, because it's crashing right in your face.
Yeah.
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 And then the car going through so much damage, right? Not a scratch.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, because it's BMW.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
they
okay.
may be caught break my window, but that window will never be broken.
Yeah, so that was one. So the Jade Panther thing was one of the story elements that didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Were there any that didn't work for you guys?
You first, because I need to think.
I really think his motivation or Shang-Chi's motivation to stay in America didn't work for me
Why not?
because they established that he was constantly kept saying that he will follow his father because he wanted to seek revenge also. So when he genuinely stayed in America, it was just one line. He did it, and now he stay. Then I'm like, what? So you didn't express why, when you follow through it, what was your feeling, why you in the end chose to. So it was very. That's why I say that if they have,
you wanted to know Shang-Chi on a much deeper level.
Yeah,
I see.
Yeah, if they actually establish that maybe the grandfather, Aqua's Katie's grandfather is the main culprit that killed his mother, and that can also set up why both of them have such a good chemistry. Besides the fact that they grew up together.
While I respect your opinion, I actually disagree with you though. I didn't feel the need for Katie and Shang-Chi to be connected in that way because in so many media, not just Marvel, not just movies, even series, it always falls onto people are together because they are somehow connected and it's revealed at a later time. But I like that they are just friends, lor. No, they just happen to be friends. And Katie and Shang-Chi are friends just because Shang-Chi was bullied and Katie stood up for him. And then they just remain friends.
Yeah, as in
not every relationship needs to be connected in such a heavily way. Plus, in this movie context alone, there is already so much connections already. They didn't have to add one more that will complicate things.
No, actually, it's actually more of if might as well they do that route because they didn't give Shang-Chi a very strong motivation to stay in America. So that's why I felt like, you know what, just give me this. At least it felt like it's natural. But now they didn't, and it felt like, why?
Although, it might still play out in the next movie. Because, again, in this first movie, all we know is Katie's grandfather died.
Yes.
Okay, but we don't know for sure that the guy who killed Fala Chen's character is her grandfather. But it might still happen in the next movie, and it will make it more interesting if they officially make Katie and Shang-Chi a love item.
Maybe.
Then that will set the love apart. That will make it a challenge for them. But because in this movie, yes, there were hints, but it's not full on like, hey, I love you, man, kind of thing. Not yet. So it could still happen, maybe left open for interpretation in the future lah.
Maybe. But so right now, it just feels like it's a bit empty in terms of Shang-Chi's motivation. Yeah.
Shang-Chi's motivation, he just wants to escape or hide. No,
as in he initially said that there's a reason why he wants to hide. But it wasn't fleshed out very, very clearly. Yeah, and in fact, he had to establish that he was willing to follow what his father says. So what happened in America that led to him decided to go against that? Because that is also one of the factors that led to him initially couldn't be able to beat his father or even learn what his mother's skill was.
I see.
Yeah, because there was the heavy baggage that he cannot get past. So what was the baggage?
You felt that it wasn't explored well enough, but okay. So I recognize what you're saying. Yeah. But then again, Shang-Chi is going to be a character that's going to be showing up in a few more other movies. So they have a lot of time to explore his character.
Likely.
Yeah. So I think having flushed everything, like you don't show hand in the first movie. Otherwise, there's just nothing else to look forward to in his character already.
But in terms of that arc, it will help a lot. But that was how I feel. Yeah.
I respect that.
Yeah.
And I think it's great that they casted an inexperienced actor like Simu Liu, because then in the next few movies, he has a lot of room to grow.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. But I think he just doesn't look like the son of Tony Leung and Fala Chen. Yeah.
Dude, Michelle Yeoh doesn't even look like Fala Chen as sisters.
Yeah, but
not even her
I don't know,
younger
man.
self.
Like, casting's a lot to me.
Yeah.
So
I quote my sis when after she watched.
casting's really important to me.
Yeah, I quote my sis after she watched her Shang-Chi. She's a huge Tony Leung fan, bigger than me, and she said this. I don't want to use the Mandarin word because there's a word for it, which is 沮丧, which is feel sadness or demoralized. So, after watching this movie and knowing that Simu Liu is Tony Leung's son, her reaction was, "Why him?" And
As in why Simu?
Yeah, why Simu? And it felt very demoralizing.
Why?
Because of the Shang-Chi. Shang is right now.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah, Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi, right? By right, the word Shang, right? Shang-Chi. So the word Shang is another word. So if she wanted to replace it with another Shang, which will inevitably represent demoralized, 沮丧, demoralized.
Oh, so that was her joke lah.
Yeah, that was a joke. That's why I said if it was.
I almost couldn't follow that.
My Chinese is not powerful enough to understand.
But her response was, "Oh my god." Okay, there's another response that she had. No,
Let me simplify what he said. Basically, his sister is upset and doesn't think that Simu Liu should have been casted. So the original Mandarin characters of Shang-Chi, the Shang is He Shang, the Shang, monk. Okay, but there's another word in Mandarin called 沮丧, which is sad or demoralized. So her joke is you could have replaced that Shang with the sad word because she's upset that Simu Liu is casted.
Yeah, and yeah.
So that was her joke.
Okay.
Maybe she just doesn't find Simu Liu handsome.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, she did. She felt that way.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, and not to mention,
Simu Liu is not handsome lah, but he does look down to earth.
Yeah. I mean, handsome or not is subjective lah.
Yeah.
He has that everyday, boring look lor. I guess.
Like Jung.
yeah. But you know he's comfortable with who he is.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Do you guys catch that jab at Kim's convenience?
The shirt one.
No, like.
Where did your shirt go?
That. Oh yeah, that was one.
That was one.
And then there was another one in the when they were having drinks in the pub. It was like, I'm not Korean.
I heard that. I didn't think of Kim's convenience.
Yeah. Well, that was hilarious. I think it's a intentional jab at Kim's convenience.
Yeah.
That was so funny.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you guys think about the director? About the direction of the show and the director?
Not much lah, to be honest.
Yeah, me neither.
I think it was serviceable. I don't think there were things that were particularly outstanding or terrible. Yeah.
That's exactly my thoughts, but my more fleshed out words will be, it's an okay movie, but I won't remember his name. It didn't have his unique flavor in it, unlike Taika Waititi when he took over Thor.
I don't know what is Destin Daniel Cretton's unique flavor because I've not seen any other work of his. Yeah.
I mean, you could say that too, because you could also say that Destin Daniel Cretton was did not come from making blockbuster Hollywood movies. But so did what's the guy that directed the Spider-Man films, the new one.
I also forgot. Yeah. Actually, he also didn't have any. He didn't have any. Even Spider-Man itself, he didn't have any like very stand out.
The director of that film made a better impression than this one. Wait, let me search it up. I forgot his name. It's killing me. Like it doesn't help the point that I'm trying to make. No, I can't find it.
Not. Which one? Far From Home or Homecoming?
Both.
Same guy?
Yeah, same guy.
John Watts. So both the Spider-Man movies had John Watts flavor, and John Watts came from making small indie films. Right, but he did such a good job that Marvel hired him again and again.
Well, I think okay lah. I think he did a pretty good job as in Destin. Yeah, I mean it wasn't terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It wasn't bad. He did very well with the homages to certain like Asian fare that we are all familiar with.
Yeah.
So I think he's definitely gonna get the call again for the sequel.
Well,
it's serviceable. It's just serviceable.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I think it's also the idea that you're working with something that nobody has any idea of what it's about.
Yeah, correct.
And then the whole the whole burden of Asian representation hinging on this movie.
Not just the Asian
there's
representation.
there's a lot of there's a lot of factors that there's a lot of people he needs to please.
It's not just it's not just Asian representation. The character itself, nobody knows about
Exactly.
it.
And it's kind of like his job to bring this character out into the world.
Oh yeah.
As opposed to Spider-Man.
Yeah, correct. Everybody knew.
Spider-Man, everybody knows what to expect.
Yes, correct.
So already knowing how to meet their expectations will make it an easier job for you to exceed it. Yeah, because you already know what works and what doesn't work for Spider-Man from the playbook.
True.
But for Shang-Chi, it's not something that's that already has a playbook. Yeah. So I think what I liked was that not just the fact that it was serviceable and not just bringing a lot of homages from Hong Kong cinema and Asian film in general. I liked that it didn't feel like an MCU movie.
Yeah.
It
definitely did not. It did not feel like a traditional MCU movie.
Yeah.
But this could be a new style going forward.
One thing is, I mean, my girlfriend is not a huge MCU fan, or in fact, she seldom watch MCU, but she can actually understand what was going on throughout the whole movie. That is good. She didn't I don't need to sit down and go, this is what happened, and she went, oh yeah, I understood what happened. So it's powerful enough. And okay, maybe I shouldn't jump ahead to CG, but gosh, the fact that because I have been watching way too many my family have SCV, and I've encountered so many of
SCV.
Siala, what is that?
Singapore Cable Vision.
Starhub.
Oh my god.
Star Cable Vision. So we have this particular channel where they constantly show China movies, and you can see all those mythical monsters that recently, like most of this China movie tends to show, and you can see how fake it is, especially when it comes to dragon and all. And then when that dragon scene show up in Shang-Chi, and I really got stunned. Like, it is as real as it gets. And I sat down and go, wow.
I will argue the dragon in Game of Thrones was better, but okay.
No, as in the kind of mythical Chinese dragon that you don't see in American films. And the ones that I have the impression has always been a very fake dragon that, the China, the MIC or the Made in China movies tend to have. That kind of CG. And then suddenly you see that dragon shows up and I go, wow.
Hollywood budget, man.
Yeah, but it was amazing.
Yeah,
that's Hollywood budget, and Disney budget.
Disney budget, and also not that. There's also the added pressure to get it right.
Yeah, correct.
Because you know what will happen if they don't.
Do you know what's the biggest difference between a Asian dragon and a Angmo dragon? Angmo dragon got wings.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's true.
Asian dragons are usually longer but thinner.
Asian dragons are more usually like snakes, serpents.
Yeah.
Okay,
so I have a few more topics about this review to cover and dissect. Okay, so you've touched a bit on the CGI. What do you think about the CGI? I thought the final fight scene it kind of took it out for me because it's just a CGI fest.
Yeah, I was like, oh okay.
It is a CGI fest,
but I wasn't into that.
I didn't think a scene like that was necessary. I was just looking for old school martial arts showdown.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they need a villain.
But if you have to say about CGI, I do like that whenever whoever used the 10 rings.
Right.
Yeah.
The whole light show was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
I totally can see somewhere in the near future, any dance competition, some Asian dude will do his own DIY 10 rings with light and then just go and swing it around.
Yeah.
I can see that happening.
Yeah. I think cool. they did really well in visualizing the 10 rings as weapons and not just things that you fire laser beams from.
Yeah. That was what the original 10 rings was. It's just...
Yeah, because the original Mandarin was just like...
Yeah. He was like an evil Captain Planet.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Okay, so on the final thing that I want to touch on the 10 rings is this movie is titled Shang-Chi and the Legend of the 10 Rings, but if you realize you don't really learn anything about 10 rings.
Yeah.
It's
more like the Legend of Wenwu.
Right. That was going to be my next point because you barely feel like you know much of Shang-Chi. You know more of Wenwu and his character and his motivation and his backstory and whatever than any other character in the show.
Yep.
It's Tony Leung.
It really should have been called Wenwu and the Legend of the 10 Rings, but that's not marketable. because Wenwu dies in this one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and not to mention
spoiler.
Shang-Chi is the marquee name.
Yeah, he's gonna be the name moving forward.
Yep, correct.
But so that's the Ten Rings. I mean, I do hope that they will explore it more in the future. But if the mid-credit scenes show anything, they will explore it more, lah.
Yep.
Right. So
Yep.
we
And-
are building up to that.
And in fact, they are so hyped out. Like even every single reviews that I watched so far, they have been constantly saying that, oh, it's gonna be the next Mjolnir.
No lah.
That's what they've been hyping.
No
There's
lah.
I mean, you can go and you can go and read all the. They are kept saying that, oh, it's gonna be the next Mjolnir moving forward. I'm like, what?
like
What?
do you
What?
think, right, that the title would have been better if it was titled Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Mandarin?
No.
No, because Wenwu isn't really the Mandarin.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, but when they first marketed the show, people don't even know that. What?
Yeah lah.
It was only halfway through the show, then he disassociated his name from the Mandarin.
Why not just call it Shang-Chi? It's
yeah,
his first movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so my next
like Captain Marvel did not have any.
Captain
subtitle.
Marvel, Iron Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Captain
The
Marvel and
Incredible
Spider-Man did lah. Spider-Man had Homecoming.
yeah.
But that's to set it apart from the original
Sony
Spider-Man
movies.
movie.
Yeah.
I would argue that the Captain America movie is a bit in the middle, because it's just letting you know that he's the first Avenger.
I think
Yeah.
I think one of the reasons was because in terms of the Ten Rings, it was established in the MCU
Yeah,
already.
Could be,
So
yeah.
they sort of shoehorn it there so that you're like, oh,
Yeah.
this is part of Marvel, and
yeah.
they're gonna talk about the Ten Rings that we didn't
Yeah,
know.
lah, yeah, lah, yeah.
Maybe
so
that was the
maybe
reason.
that's a callback to Iron Man.
Yeah.
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 You know the Ten Rings have actually appeared in multiple movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even in Ant-Man.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
Yeah. They
But
tried to
it's-
buy the yellow jacket. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's you see it or you miss it kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah,
yep.
correct.
So the last few topics, what do you think about the humor in the show? I think this will be rather short. The humor is great, though.
Yeah, it works.
It works.
It only came. I feel that it only came from Awkwafina. She's the comedic point in this whole show.
Not really. I think all the humors were on point, and when it comes to movie, my tolerance, my humor tolerance is pretty high. Like I don't really laugh a lot, but I chuckle quite a fair bit in this show.
Is it mostly from Awkwafina?
No, there was one. I think one that I really chuckled a lot, even though it was very predictable, was when Razorface saw
Razor Fist.
Razorface. Yeah, Razorface was like saying, "I will not. We will not be. No, I will not team up with you." And then after he saw,
It's like, oh shit, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
actually
think
didn't
we
laugh
should.
at that
He
because I
was-
saw it coming.
yeah, it's not coming,
No,
but
that's a very typical Marvel,
Yeah.
Marvel joke.
yeah, there was
They
also
set up. They set
Their
up.
way of humor.
Yeah, they set up something like that, and then they flip it.
Yeah.
That's very typical Marvel.
But I saw it coming.
Yeah.
That's why I said it's predictable, but I don't know why I chuckled. I think it's also the way that they presented it was pretty interesting, fun.
I like jokes like when Awkwafina called out Shang-Chi. Your name is Shang-Chi. You changed it to Sean.
Oh yeah.
That was good. That was good.
So that was really funny.
That's funny.
Like, but it's basically her calling out stuff.
Yeah.
Like, what happened to your shirt? And he just,
Yeah.
which is a very Jung thing to do. Also.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
I like it when she calls out stuff. Yeah. So I think the humor kind of works for me, and it wasn't too much.
Yeah.
It was just
It's
nice.
enough. Yeah, it's
It was
enough.
just
Just enough
nice.
for the show. Yeah,
Uh,
it didn't overshadow the plot.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
And
Because
what?
some MCU movies, the humor really like
like
too
non-stop,
much.
right?
Yeah,
Non-stop
yeah.
lah. Like the movie is nice, but wow, cannot
Like
lah.
Thor.
Yeah.
So,
No, not Thor.
I'm actually okay with the humor in Thor. I don't like the humor in Guardians 2.
yeah. I was about to say
Guardians 2.
I was thinking, yeah,
It was,
Guardians
no,
1 was great.
yeah.
until the
Have
humor
you
came.
seen Suicide Squad?
Not the new one.
Fucking good.
Oh, the new one was good.
I
I
haven't
love
seen
the
it
new
yet.
one.
Yeah.
The humor is on point. On point. It's the best version of Harley Quinn. But
Yes.
we don't dive into that now. Maybe you watch it, then maybe we
Okay.
can review it.
Okay.
So because
okay.
I think that movie is worth reviewing.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
great. Okay, so what do you think of the music? The soundtrack and the music.
I think the main theme of the show has a lot of Rush Hour callbacks. It feels like a Rush Hour
Yep.
theme to me.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is.
Yeah.
It felt so.
And
It felt so.
and for me, because I know that you guys haven't explored the Shang-Chi album yet, because they have the movie soundtracks as well as songs and whatever and excerpts lah. I quite like it because every single song is sung read or written or produced by an Asian person.
Mm.
Even JJ Lin.
JJ Lin was
Yeah.
in the soundtrack.
Later I
That's
let you
cool.
hear. And his track doesn't sound like his traditional type of music.
He was rapping, right?
No.
He wasn't.
No. It kind of sounds like those elevated background music.
But the one that I really love was the one that you played just now.
Yeah.
That Shang. It was good.
Yeah, that's the one I said sound like Rush Hour.
Yeah lah.
No, it sounds like Rush Hour, but again, it has its own feel also. It didn't sound so much like, oh, I must immediately think of Rush Hour. It's
It
after a while recall like, oh yeah, it really sounds like it.
To me, it sounded like cartoon Mulan.
Yeah, it felt like.
No, 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 no.
Ah.
That one. Yeah. Okay, so music covered. Okay, my final topic that I want to cover. Okay, do you guys think Asian representation is important
You're preaching to the choir. Obviously, we're gonna say yes.
Yeah.
in Singapore context?
I don't think I don't think as in it's the default in Singapore, right?
Mm.
But I think what was great about Shang-Chi, right, was that it wasn't just focused entirely on the Asian American or the Chinese American experience,
Yeah.
which pretty much was Crazy Rich Asians.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. I think it gives people around the world a window into what even if it's a fantastical version, right?
Yeah.
But it's a version of how people who live in this side of the world view the world.
Mm.
Yeah. And I think that's important because in a lot of discourse surrounding Asian representation and Chinese representation or whatever,
Yeah.
it's always centered around Asian Americans or specifically Chinese or Korean Americans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reason why I put this question into my talking point today, right, was again going back to the article that I read. Maybe I'll send it to you guys later, right? The writer wrote that while he understands why this movie is important to Asian Americans, it might not be that relevant or relatable to Asian dominant countries.
really. Not
I
really.
disagree because I think it's very important for the West to understand us as much as we understand them. Because, we are so attuned and in tune with Western pop culture, with pop culture that comes from America, from UK. We watch their shows, we speak their language, we know
Yeah.
their stars and their
Mm.
celebrities. And I think that for once, right, it's a way to start them off knowing what it's like on our side of the planet.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, it's not just a win for Asian American representation like Crazy Rich Asians was. It's a win for Asians, or rather more particularly Chinese in general. It's spreading Chinese culture and the knowledge of it to the world. Because a lot of people who watch Shang-Chi, who may not know who Tony Leung is, they are going to be introduced to his library of films. Tony Leung is a
Right.
huge fucking actor in this side of the world.
Right.
Yeah, everybody knows him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So now, people in the West who watch Shang-Chi, they're going to see who's this brilliant guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then they're
correct.
going to they're going to start watching Last Caution, Infernal Affairs, In the Mood for Love,
Yeah.
Chongqing Express, whatever. And then through watching Tony Leung and watching all those shows, they're going to be introduced more to other Hong Kong films. Yeah, but that's just talking about Hong Kong and China alone.
Okay.
Yeah, but the hope is that they would realize that there's a lot more to Asia and than just the Chinese, But I mean, it's a good way to start.
I think that for me, this Asia representation is way more important because of how much we have been, like you said, it has been misrepresented for far too long and far too many times already. So
in American culture, yes.
in American culture, yeah. So it I think this really makes me feel that it doesn't look like those typical, those kind of typical Hollywood version of an Asian film. So it is very refreshing.
Yeah, because like a lot of times when I see someone championing something as a win for Asians, right? I watch it and I'm like, I don't think so, because it's made from the Asian American point of view, and it only focuses on that.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see.
I will use again the example of Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah.
Like, have you watched it?
Of course.
Yeah, you definitely watch it
Yeah.
also. Because I watched it and I'm like,
I have a lot of things to say about the movie.
Yeah, I
but
hated
anyway.
it a lot, but yeah.
that's not Singapore at all.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Singapore is just a set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just happens with the location that they are doing that.
No, it's
Yeah.
just
Anyway,
that.
let's not go into it.
Yeah.
Crazy Rich Asians today. But let me cite an example then.
Yes.
Right, you know how you keep citing Crazy Rich Asians? Let me cite an example. When Black Panther first came out, how it started a wave of cultural phenomenon.
That's what I wanted to say.
The African, okay, here are, the African Americans went crazy over it. Right, everyone dressed up as, in the traditional colorful bright clothing.
Yes.
On the streets of New York, and they started doing this, right?
Wakanda
But
forever.
when they asked the views of the Africans themselves, not African Americans, but Africans, they were like, no, it's not a big deal. So that's what got me thinking after reading that. It's obviously important to Asian Americans, okay, in a predominantly white Eurasian country. But is it as important to people like us in a predominantly Asian country? Would we feel the same effects?
But to
as
be
they
fair,
do?
but to be
And does it translate over to us? That was actually my question.
Right. No, I don't think we need representation like in our countries, because we're
Yeah.
already the dominant race.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I think what we value more from this show is the ability to show another culture what our culture is like.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And I'm sure you guys would have known this, that when you watch the movie, right, a lot of the subtitles are wrong.
Yes. Correct.
Right.
Correct.
My version did not have subtitles.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of did they have English subtitles?
No.
For the Chinese part?
No.
Oh, okay,
Serious?
that's interesting. What cinema you watch it from?
IMAX.
Down East?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Cathay, huh?
I think so.
That's so weird.
That's weird. Mine also.
I watched it at
No,
GV.
Shaw.
I watched it at GV.
GV had.
Yeah, a lot of the English subtitles were wrong lah. So, like, I don't know whose fault that is, but if you don't understand, like the Chinese language, or if you don't even have like a hint of learning the Chinese language, because I know my Chinese is not very good, you won't understand the full context of the movie.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, which I feel like, as a Chinese person, right, I sat in that theater and I watched the show and I felt like, finally this is a movie that I can say I understand that my white friends don't.
I see.
Yeah.
True.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And to be fair, there's not a lot of African representations or Hollywood movie that has African representations, or even prominent ones, as compared to Asian ones. And not to mention, Asian market is usually the biggest.
I think the comparing Black Panther and Shang-Chi, right? Black Panther is
They are the only two cultural movies within the MCU
yeah, but
so
Black
far.
but Black Panther takes place in like mostly in Wakanda, which is like a and the character comes from Wakanda. It's a fictionalized version of
an African country.
an amalgamation of African cultures.
Yeah.
So there's not one single African tribe. There are probably millions of them
Yeah.
that feel like that movie is really showcasing who they are, because it's all like a jumbled mess.
Yep.
And Chadwick himself isn't even like from Africa. He's from UK.
Yeah.
Although he's obviously his ancestors were from Africa lah. But like comparing that to Shang-Chi, right? I mean, Wenwu is from ancient China. It's so very obviously Chinese culture, even though it takes place in Ta Lo.
Yeah. Correct.
So and it's not like they took Chinese, Japanese, Korean culture and melded all of that together. Yeah, it's really specifically Chinese culture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, I was quite amazed by the one very simple fact. All this while, whenever they have some Asian representations, especially for Chinese culture, right, they even can put in. They will usually add in some foreign or non-Chinese character, non-Chinese actors or actresses inside. In a way, then this is the first time they legitimately use every single one who is casted as Chinese. They are legitimately
Yeah, they were
ethnic Chinese.
they were very careful this time to make sure that the portrayal of Chinese elements was as authentic as it could be.
Yeah.
I I don't think Black Panther had this type of specific accuracy, because Black Panther was about more of like championing Africa as a whole continent.
Yeah.
But then without realizing that Africa is also a lot of tribes, a lot of countries built into it. But Chinese culture,
We are more united.
we are a bit more united.
Yeah.
Culturally.
Yes.
Okay.
correct.
Like historically, culturally, obviously political whatever
Let's not talk
today
about that,
is different lah, but the concepts and the cultural values and all that, they are very, very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even as a Singaporean Chinese, you can go to Taiwan, you can go to Hong Kong, you can go to China. Certain things will still be the same. 中秋节, ironically,
Yeah.
which is today.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Correct.
Like Qingming. Qingming.
Yeah. Why was Qingming a thing in the show? I don't understand. But anyway.
No, they just want to set up a particular date, and one of the reason is also because Qingming is representing the respect of the dead, and obviously, you know, Falache's character is dead, so it was a very good way to sort of having a very good reason for him to go back and resurrect the dead or something like that. It was sort of like a.
But he didn't resurrect any dead. If anything, the whole Qingming ploy came into.
It was a date for. It's just a convenient date for him to actually.
No, the whole Qingming ploy came into play. It wasn't for him to go back and pay respects. It was just that so happened that
he
the
can
gate
actually go into the village to actually to
opens
save his
a
wife.
single line on
Yeah.
Qingming.
Yeah.
But it could have easily been any other Chinese festival. Like, I think Zhongqiu would have been better.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
Qingming?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like it. So that was the one point where I felt like maybe they don't quite understand Chinese festivals yet.
Maybe.
中秋would have been more significant if
Full moon.
the idea would have been for the gate to be open
I agree with you.
On a full moon.
I agree with you because
on a full moon.
I would agree with you because it would have been even crazier, right, if they had tried to pull a Chang'e and Hou kind of thing with Wenwu and
Oh yeah.
They could have easily set their characters up that way.
yeah, or the what 七夕节 that story also.
Yeah.
Oh, 牛郎织女. Yeah, that one.
They could have put 七夕节,
So Morris the rabbit.
you know.
But yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, like I said, a lot of these things, festivals and cultural things, they are very similar across all the Chinese in any country.
Yeah, they said Qingming we
whether
know
whether you are Chinese in America, whether you are
Yeah.
Chinese in China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, or Singapore or Malaysia, right?
Yeah,
You still observe the same festivals.
like a
Whereas for Africans, right, I don't think I think every tribe has their own festivals and culture that they observe that is different from the next tribe.
I will even go a step further, saying that even the gods are different.
Yeah.
The myth and the gods are different as well.
Yeah. So I would think that I can understand why Africans don't feel like Black Panther really represents them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's really more for African Americans or African
Race rather than culture.
yeah,
Yes,
for them
correct.
to thumb their chest and say, "Oh, look, this is what this is what represents me back in where my ancestors were."
Mm.
But it's not a very specific representation for them lah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Cause you see, the thing is, African Americans, they could have come from people from Nigeria, from South Africa, from all over the African continent.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for Chinese, it's only China.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
One
Okay.
simple reason.
That's fair.
Okay,
Yeah.
one simple thing that may come out as misrepresentation anytime. The dragon that they show, they could have made it into a realistic dragon because they did do something very realistic with the monster. What's the name?
Kraken, I don't
The
just call it
Kraken.
Kraken.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Kraken.
the Kraken.
They did a pretty good job in representing an sort of like a very evil Western dragonish kind of a character. If you notice that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's,
Yeah,
it's
and
really
then,
like Eastern
yeah.
versus Western dragon.
Yeah. So when they really showed the actual the protector, it looks really like a real dragon that we Chinese can see, and it looks real. And it was like, whoa, nice.
Oh, it's very funny because it's like
the monster is called Dweller in the Darkness.
Yeah,
Right.
but the way that
just
they
call it Kraken,
the way that they design it looks like an evil version
it's
of a
it's
Western
an evil
dragon.
Western dragon. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's very funny because it's like the Chinese fighting against Western imperialism.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah. So it did feel like they can even make it as realistic as possible, like how a dragon will be, but it looks real, but it also have elements of a natural dragon inside. So it feel Chinese dragon inside. So it's nice.
It is a Kraken.
It is a fucking Kraken. I just googled a picture of Dweller in the Darkness on Earth 616 Marvel comic books. It's a freaking alienoid with an octopus head.
Yeah,
with tentacles.
Yeah, that's correct. But it's not how they design it in the actual movie.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But they were saying that it's not because they are trying to. A bit off topic here. They are trying to actually so-called set up for Shimagaru.
What's that?
Shimagoro.
What's that?
I have no idea what that is.
It's a Marvel alien entity from another dimension, and it looks like a bloody octopus. Shimagoro.
I don't know, but yeah. Those are my I guess very detailed thoughts about Asian representation.
Yeah. I don't think so. I have anything to add.
Because honestly, I always feel that a lot of the discussions about Asian representation and stuff are overly dominated by Asian Americans. Like sometimes I feel like they don't hear things from our point of view, and it's also because we come from very Asian dominant countries lah. So maybe Shang-Chi is a way to reach all of that.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
It could be the start lah.
Yeah.
It could be a very good start.
Yeah.
Okay lah. So with that, I think we have more or less wrapped our review and dissection of the movie. I would say it's pretty detailed, and we obviously had a lot of fun to the point that we are
almost 2 hours.
1 hour 40 minutes in already.
Whoa.
Almost the entire runtime of the movie.
Yeah.
Oh.
We could have easily done a
Director's
movie.
commentary.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so clearly we have enjoyed doing this review. We apologize for a little bit for the listeners if it's a bit long, but I'm sure that if you enjoyed the movie, you probably will enjoy our review as well.
Mm-hmm.
Our very in-depth review.
Yeah.
Man.
So do you guys have anything last minute to add on? No, I'll close the whole thing.
No man, I think we've said all that needs to be said.
Yeah.
Right?
Already, right?
Yeah.
I think we really said a lot already.
It was fun. We really said a lot. Like I honestly didn't come into this discussion. Like I didn't go and like read up so much. I just wanted to come in and just give like what I remember. Yeah. Yeah. Because I like to be spontaneous.
I see.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay, so in that case, I'm going to close this episode. Thank you everyone for listening to us on Prod.cast. We currently do not have a social media page like Facebook or Instagram because we don't feel that we are ready or we are there yet. But if you want to communicate to us, you can pop over to our YouTube. It's Prod.cast, if I'm not wrong. And you can just leave a comment there on anything and we'll definitely see it. Please be nice in the comment section. Don't be rude, don't be mean. If not, we'll block you. I will give you a comment. I do not care. So just be nice. Share your opinion if you have to. Actually, no, share your opinions, please. But be respectful of other people's opinions as well. If you enjoyed our very first movie review, do drop a comment and let us know if you want to hear any more and what type of reviews that you want to hear us cover, and we might or might not do it, see whether we feel like it or not, or if it's worth our time. Actually no, that sounds very rude, sorry. Just drop a comment to let us know what you want to hear from us, and we'll see if we'll do it lah. Alright, so other than that, you can find all of our stuff on Spotify, Google Podcasts, but mainly on Spotify. You can also check out all of our other stuff on YouTube, where we do reactions to Loki series, Ultraman Trigger series, maybe some music video trailers and reactions and stuff like that. So if you enjoy all this, do subscribe to us. And once again, closing, I'm Andric.
I'm Basil.
And I'm SK.
See you. Bye.
Bye-bye.